Hello and welcome to thebuttonsmashers.com. My name is Kudus Campbell and this is our review for The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Initially, I planned to make a few changes to our PlayStation Vita review of this title to make the PC review. However, the PC version turned out to be quite remarkable in that it needed a lot more attention than I had initially anticipated. That being said, let's begin the review. Every so often a game comes along and whisks your way into a world like nothing you've ever experienced. And then there are games like The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel that feel oh so familiar in a very charming kind of way. Titles like these manage to hold one's attentions because of their relatable characters and situations, which helps you, the gamer, lose yourself in hundreds of hours or so in the digital world that developers have created. I'd like to make it very clear before we continue. You should already know if you want to play this title or not, from the very moment that you see the opening video. The rest of you may like it for other reasons that will be mentioned in this review, or maybe you just may not like the title. Trails of Cold Steel's plot has you follow a young man named Rean who has left his hometown to attend a military school which has a mixture of actual military stuff and a modern Japanese style schooling system that you can expect to find in a slice of life anime. Shortly after arriving at the school, Rean is told that he has been placed in the mysterious Class 7 along with 8 other students for reasons that are not initially explained to any of them. After being placed in this class, he and his fellow classmates are expected to live the life of general students sitting in classes, taking exams, etc., while at the same time going to special missions to different parts of the country, which explain why they are in the mysterious class in the first place. After my first few hours with the game, I started to see similarities between not just this and other JRPGs that I've played in the past, but also real-life situations that occur in modern society. These similarities between the game and the issues that we as a species struggle with to this day range from war and trust to the very real question of equality. And it is these similarities between real life and the game that helped me get invested in the lore even more, and is ultimately one of the main reasons why I couldn't put it down during my first sitting with it. The two biggest things about this game are probably its plot and setting, but there were many other things about the game that stood out to me. The game's battle system is one of those things. When I was first exposed to it, I thought to myself, what is this? Ugh, this is gonna be lame. Fast forward a few hours later and my tone had totally changed. I was breezing my way past enemies and enjoying every moment of it, because of the unique battle system that has the player control each member of their party in a turn-based system while taking into consideration their location on the battlefield and the location of the enemies, as well as their weaknesses. If you completely master this battle system, you'll find that many fights can be completed with just 2 characters, or for those of us that just love to grind, how easy it is to exploit these systems to make grinding less tedious. The closest battle system I can compare it to is that of Eternal Sonata for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, bundled with a world that screams Tales of. Now the last, and probably the most controversial thing that I liked about Trails of Cold Steel were the characters. This is a tricky thing to write about because I really liked the characters, and if not for one aspect of their portrayal, I would have had much more fun with this game. So let's start with the main character, Rean Schwarzer. He's cool and collected from the moment we're introduced to him at the beginning, and dare I say, he gets cooler the more you play. This I liked a lot because a lot of JRPG protagonists just have blank emotionless slates for you to put your own personality into, and still they come off as a bit weak. I also mentioned this in our review of Tokyo Xanadu, a game that uses a lot of the resources that have been perfected in the Trails games. As for Rean, he is Rean, not Q, not Bob, he's Rean, and his personality shines. His character dialogue and voice acting is so compelling that I actually looked up the voice actor while playing the game for a few minutes. That's how good it is. By the way, the voice actor is Sean Chiplock. The other characters and their respective voice actors were also really great. Alyssa is adorable and sundari as frack, just the way I like my waifus. Elliot is a bitchy bestie. Laura, oh, Laura. Marcus is a wanker, #wanker. Julius is my kind of people, kinda reminds me of Adrian. Emma is your typical nice and boring type. Faye is the silent mysterious lolly. Gaius is your strong gentle giant, and Sarah, well, let's just say there are lines that teachers shouldn't cross, and I can't complain. And thus, this is where I found my biggest issue with Trails of Cold Steel for the PlayStation Vita. You see, though the game has great dialogue and voice acting, it is very inconsistent with the use of this voice acting. Here I was exposed to Sean's amazing voice and character in the beginning, and then it was taken away while my classmates kept theirs. Then their voices went missing. So I'm like, okay, that was just for the intro. The rest of the game is text. No problem, I'm okay with text, but no, that's not what happens. It comes and goes at random. Sometimes you have dialogue with voice acting, and other times you don't. Sometimes Rean has a voice, and other times it's just his classmates, and sometimes other characters. This and this alone is the biggest problem with this game, and the reason I didn't get fully immersed in this title. The PC version does a lot to try and rectify this injustice by adding more voice acting, 50% more, but it's still not enough. What the publisher should have done is decide on which way they wanted the dialogue to go and stick to it for the entire game. That way the players don't get confused while playing. I kid you not, I felt a sense of anxiety during every cutscene because I wasn't sure if I was going to be treated to dialogue or not. Other than the inconsistencies with the manner in which the voice acting is used, the game had only a few minor issues with the PlayStation Vita version that I feel I must mention. It had some noticeable frame drops during the more graphically intense scenes, probably just a limitation of the PlayStation Vita. The PC version on the other hand was spectacular, running buttery smooth at 1080p 60 frames per second. It also came bundled with a lot of settings, including the ability to skip startup logos, skip the intros and all videos, as well as a turbo feature for Xbox and PlayStation controllers, as well as mouse and keyboard. Graphically, it's not much of a noticeable update from the previous versions, but that is to be expected because this is a port after all. I was capable of setting the graphics settings insanely high, but there wasn't enough payoff or stress on my system. All that being said, the PC version is the definitive version of Trails of Cold Steel, and I look forward to the possibility of playing both Part 1 and 2 on the PC as well.
Oh, it's the silver-haired girl. I'm glad to see you're all right. Though it looks like there was nothing to worry about in the first place.
Nope. I'm small and quick. These things can't lay a finger on me. Oh yeah, Fee Clausel. That's my name. You're just over halfway through. Keep it up. Later.
So with all that I've said so far about Trails of Cold Steel, here's my final verdict. After playing The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel for a few hours, I thought to myself, this may be the next Persona 4 Golden for the PlayStation Vita. But after spending more time with the game, I realized that it wasn't. What Trails of Cold Steel is a very good JRPG for the PlayStation Vita, PS3 and PC. It's one of the best in fact. It's the type of game that was really close to being perfect, but due to a few shortcomings it couldn't fully capitalize on all its potential. And though the PC version does attempt to improve upon it, it still falls short. If you're not a fan of these types of games, this is not going to change your mind about them. For those of you that are fans of JRPGs, anime, and have a PlayStation Vita, PS3 or PC, buy it. Buy it now. It's worth every cent of its price tag. With a great plot, charismatic characters, unique battle system, and a bevy of content, you won't find a better JRPG other than Persona 4, Persona 5, and the Tales series. There are a few others, but I'll save them for a top 10 list, or something else. Thank you very much for watching our review of The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to give us a like and leave a comment in the description to let us know what you think of the game. And if you enjoyed this content and would like to see a lot more of it, please make sure to subscribe to this channel.